This is 911. State your emergency. Hello? I can't help you if I don't know where you're at, honey. Where are you at? Where are you? I need as many units as I can get for Fairfield Road. Give me the numbers.
911, what's your emergency?
Hey friends, it's Fletch. I'm Vice President of Public Safety Solutions at 911 Inform. Welcome to this new podcast series, Off the Cuff, Confessions of an ENP. Brought to you by 911 Inform, delivering next-generation 911 services for the enterprise today and making every second count. In this series, we're going to be talking to ENPs that have been on the job for years, as well as those brand new ENPs that have just passed the test. We'll dig in and have an in-depth conversation and find out what the ENP certification means to them. We'll talk about why they did it, what it means for their career, and what they did to pass the exam. Industry certifications are important to industry professionals, and the ENP certification is one that's admired by many in public safety. So join me as we find out exactly what makes an ENP tick in this off-the-cuff podcast series, Confessions of an ENP. Hey, it's Fletch. Welcome to another episode of Off-the-Cuff True Confessions of an ENP. Tonight we are down in one of my favorite centers because it comes with a built-in martini director. That's what his shirt says, and that's what I'm going by. Well, they got a brand new ENP on staff, and that's Sebrina Jackson, ENP. Welcome to the podcast, and congratulations on your brand new designation.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
Well, you're glad to be there and not in front of Steve, right?
Well, you know, I was nights for 18 years, so I just switched to days. I see him more now than I did.
And you guys are getting a brand new center down there, from what I remember seeing. I was down there about a year and a half ago, and they were starting the construction, and it's getting pretty close, right?
We should be up and back in it in June, but it's completely different than what you've seen before. So you've got to come back and visit.
Well, you guys were on 2 floors, and there was, I think, what was it? Call taking was downstairs. Dispatch was upstairs, I think it was.
Reverse. Dispatch was
Reverse.
downstairs and call taking was upstairs.
Okay.
We'll still be on 2 floors.
Okay.
But it's going to be a lot nicer. And we've got a workout center now, quiet room, lactation room. So we've really made it where it's going to be really comfortable for people like me who seem to spend a lot of time there. So, but you know.
Quiet room's not in Steve's office, right?
No.
Did he get a new office?
Well, yes, they actually kind of gutted that. He'll be in the same spot, but they redid it. He had a bathroom there. He didn't really care for the bathrooms. I know they gutted that. I don't know if they put it back in or not, but they really did the whole building. But you know, midnights we used to take advantage of that time and go in his office and take pictures of ourselves at his desk and send them to him. We text them to him. So yeah.
I love Steve. You know, I met him when he was at Chattanooga and he first got his ENP, and he came in and introduced himself, and I've known him all through his years. He was at Brentwood for a little while, and you know, he's really a great example of somebody who went out, got their certifications, and built their career around it. How long have you been in the industry, Sebrina?
20 years. Was 20 years in December.
Wow, you're a lifer.
I'm a lifer and didn't plan to be, but it turned out that way, and I'm glad it did.
Have you always been in Nashville?
Always. Born and raised. Rarity, but born and raised.
Yeah, no, my daughter's a transplant down there. She's living with a lieutenant out at the base, or near the base at least. He does all their security checks. So I know he's straight and narrow, which is cool by me.
Keeps you calm. Don't have to worry about him.
Exactly. But yeah, I was down there not this past Christmas, but last year Christmas time. So she's actually going to be at NENA with me. You're going to go to NENA by any chance?
I am presenting at NENA.
Oh, you are? What are you presenting?
Ironically, it's how to plan for the oh no.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
That's great. What day are you presenting?
Monday.
Fantastic.
4 to 5, I believe.
All right. Well, I am presenting Wednesday from 10 to 11.
I can come by.
And I am presenting on what ECCs can do to engage the business community to make sure that they're Kerry's Law and Ray Bombs compliant and not sending all these false butt dial 911 calls
Mhm.
and hang up calls into the ECCs.
Oh, I definitely need to come to that. 'Cause
That's why I'm doing it.
I will definitely come to that. This will be my first presentation, so I'm a little nervous, but I really want it we've had so many things, and even with last week, we're continuing to have things, but I've worked every natural or man-made disaster at the agency that we've had it since 2020. I've worked every one.
Wow.
Um, so when I tactical dispatch, so I've done the big special events. I do those as well. So Steve has talked about the bombing and different things, and you see other directors talking about how to plan for this and how you can, but you don't really see the floor personnel or supervisors because I was
Yep.
either floor personnel or supervisor on all of those.
Wow.
We don't get that perspective often, so that was it spoke to me, and I wanted to give that perspective for other floor personnel and other supervisors so they can have that perspective of what they can do and how they can plan for it because you get the big boss's perspective, but what can little old me do? How can I make sure that when I'm in the trenches, when it's going on, what can I do to make sure everything flows?
And
And
you're the feet on the street, girl. You're making it happen.
and that's why we want to speak to those people because they don't always see it from that perspective when they go to a conference. And so there are things you can do as feet on the street, and things how you can prepare yourself in that role. And I think that's important for us to see. So I'm excited.
Wow, that's cool. I love tactical dispatch. I love the concept of tactical dispatch. Now, do you go out on site when you do that?
We don't as much as we used to, but we have a lot of new tactical dispatchers on our team. So we're working on getting back to where they can go out and because I've gone out several times, but our newer folks have not. So we want them to get that experience. So if it happens again, they know what to do and they're ready. So
Right.
in planning. So that's the portion we're getting to next is planning for that to get them ready for that. But I love tactical dispatch. It's my heart. I just love it, and I get excited about it, and I want everybody else to be excited about it, and want everybody else to want to do it. So that's my thing.
Nice. I've got this vision. I think you're going to see more tactical dispatch, and I think as broadband and high bandwidth is available, and all the technology where you can basically dispatch over the CAD and get your
Mhm.
communications there, I think you're going to see more tactical dispatchers out on the road with supervisory personnel in a special tactical dispatch vehicle. And that's where the bulkier dispatching is going to be done because of the value of being a tactical dispatcher, and you can move from incident to incident relatively easily. Do you guys have a vehicle that you're working out of?
No, we use Homeland Security District Five's vehicle when we go out, but I want a Thor. I just throwing it out there. Anybody listening, anybody hear it? I want a Thor. If you want to give
You're
Nashville a Thor, feel free.
gonna run a GoFundMe
But we looked at it and
because
Steve.
if you leave this to Martini, you're gonna end up with like the Partridge Family bus, right?
Oh, no, no, no. He's for a Thor too, and
Okay.
almost getting certified to drive the Thor.
Oh
He's
wow.
on board. It was his suggestion first, and I was like, yes. But his vision, and I love it, is we had dispatchers in Florida this last whether it's we've had dispatchers down there, we've gone to different places, and the vision is to be able to take the bus down there and
Wow.
dispatch from that bus because we're working now where we're getting the technology to dispatch from home. We are technically equipped to do it. They're still testing it out, but the tests have gone well.
Nice.
So where we can take phone calls while we're on the road. We've always had on our tactical dispatch team, we've always had our cat on our laptop so we can dispatch from anywhere, but now we can take calls from anywhere.
Nice.
So we're working on that, and I'm just excited. It's a lot of different things to do, and I love being able to go and help other agencies when something's going on. So we are big on TERT. TERT is big for us, and that's what we pride ourselves on being able to assist other agencies.
Wow, that's unbelievable. So I gotta ask you because it's so recent and I know it's sensitive, but how are you guys doing there after the last incident? Is everybody doing okay?
We're doing okay. It's of course it's hard. Um, our team, and I'm a crier, so forgive me,
I
but our
apologize.
team did amazing. Everybody stepped up and did what they were supposed to do, from the newest call takers to the seasoned dispatchers, our supervisory personnel, our manager. We all worked as a team. Because again, I've told you I've worked everything that happens. I've been there. So
Yep.
I was there last Monday, but I'm so proud of our team and the work they put in, the effort they put in, the reason why it went from beginning to end. We're one of the reasons why. We're not but we're one of the reasons why. And it was the fact that each person stepped up, each person that was new and still learning their confidence in their job. Um, Dispatchers who have been on the job for a long time, you sometimes kind of get lax, but as soon as we knew it was real, it was silent for a second, then everybody just jumped in and did what they've been trained to do. And it was unfortunate situation. It was a horrible, tragic situation. But the way we moved together was a beautiful sight to see in the midst of that tragedy. And I'm so proud of my team. So proud.
No, you should be. I texted Steve later in the day and I said, I know you're busy, you're probably slammed. Just want to let you know I'm thinking about you and prayers are with you, brother. And he got back to me in like 15 minutes. And I'm like, wow, I'm a crier too. But that meant a lot that he acknowledged that, right?
Yeah.
And it was I just knowing somebody personally that was dealing with that and
Mhm.
knowing what he's been through and, hi, I'm here. Oh, we got this bombing. I mean,
Yeah.
he's had an
Well,
interesting go at it, right?
Steve's first introduction to Nashville was the tornadoes of March of 2020. So that was Steve's first introduction. So he hit the ground running. I worked that too. And it's funny thing is, it's funny now to look at. I had a trainee and somebody called in and said that the back of their house was gone. And my trainee looked at me like, what do I do? So I just kind of gently pushed her out of the way. She was first week or two. I just gently pushed her out of the way and we just started working. But that was Steve's introduction. He started in March 2020 with the tornadoes and then
Wow.
COVID. So Steve came in with a bang, and there you go. Took
Yeah.
off ever since. So, but that was his introduction to Nashville was that, and so he's used to it at this point because that's how he started. And so,
Yeah. But you know what, Sabrina? This podcast isn't about Steve. This podcast is about you.
I like to talk about my people. I'm proud
I
of my
know.
people. I like to talk about them. So,
Well, you should be. You should be. I mean, you guys, like I said, the times I've been down there, that's one of the things I noted. The camaraderie in that center, it's just palpable as soon as you walk in the door. I don't know what it is. I guess it's just the people and the way things are down there, but it's
we're,
palpable.
we're a family, and, some might say we might be dysfunctional at times, but,
Oh, hell yes, of course.
but,
What do you do for a living?
we're a family. And even with this last situation, we've seen each other struggling to deal with it and to understand it and to just wrap our minds around it. But each person is taking up whatever your feelings are about that person, and what we've all done at this point is we're taking each other by hand and just putting our arms around each other and just loving on each other. And I tell people, our roll calls all the time, say give yourselves grace, give each other grace. And so that's what we've been doing with each other. And so it's just somebody else, we can talk about each other and fight with each other, but nobody else better not mess with us. And so
Yeah.
that's kind of how it is. We love each other. And like I said, it's like any family, it has its ups and downs, but bottom line is we're there for each other. When the chips fall, we're there for each other to pick each other up. And that's what we do. And that's what dispatchers do. That's what centers do, so that's what we do.
Oh, I mean, it's 40 years since I worked the desk. There are people that are still out there I'm friends with. I run into them. It was just like I was working yesterday.
Yep.
Right. And it's just,
Mhm.
and people that have not been in this industry don't,
They don't
they,
understand.
they don't understand. They can't acknowledge it.
Mm-mm.
It's not because they don't want to. They just, until
They
you've
they
done it,
can't.
I don't know. You can't learn it. You got.
Last Monday, we had retirees come in and bring us food.
Oh wow.
The retirees came in and bring us food.
Yeah.
They had
Okay.
retired the year before, but they knew that we weren't eating, weren't thinking about eating, we were just going, so they knew, and they brought us food. There were dispatchers visiting from New York who bought us lunch Monday and sent money Tuesday for us to get lunch because they knew,
Yeah.
they know what it is, and they were visiting, they were on vacation in Nashville. And so that's what they did because they understood, and that's kind of, how that's what it is. That's what we are. That's who we are.
Yeah. The big school shooting up in Connecticut years ago, somebody
Mhm.
called a local pizza shop and said, "Here's my Amex. Call them and find out whatever they want. I
Mhm.
don't care. Open limit. Just
Yeah.
get them food."
Yep.
And I think that guy went anonymous. I'm
Mhm.
not sure if they ever found out who it was.
And it's no telling who it is, but they understood that. And the thing is, we had one supervisor. I keep a bag of candy. Most of it's sugar free, but some is not. But she was like, "We need
So
candy."
where exactly is your desk now?
Well, the bag is empty. I have to go refill it because
Okay.
she took the candy around and she was like, "We need to keep everybody's blood sugar up because everybody's working and going and can't move." So she took it around and just made sure everybody got a piece, just stuck on a piece of candy a little bit just to kind of give you that extra little bit to keep pushing that day.
Nice.
Just it was little things and big things and little things, but every single thing made it run and made it work. And that's just, again, that's who we are. As
Wow.
dispatchers, that's who we are.
Well, thank you for what you do. I mean, and really, I mean, that is just the epitome of, why you're in this for 20 years. So what drove you to get your ENP?
I have been wanting to get my EMP since 2016. When I heard about it, I'm a learner. I love learning. I love taking classes. I go on TEKS, FEMA, take APCO courses, NENA courses. If there's something for me to learn, I'm that's just me. I don't have the most FEMA courses at my agency because my best friend is probably taking everything except for the animal husbandry FEMA courses. But that's just, I love
There's a good
learning.
joke there, by the way, but I'll leave it go.
But that's just what I love to do, and I love to learn more about it. When I found that this was my niche and I realized this was what I wanted to do and where I wanted to stay, I just dove into learning about it. And EMP for me was kind of the culmination of everything. I Last year I got my RPL, then my CMCP, and my EMP was, the icing on the cake for it. So
Nice.
that was, I just crave learning more about it. I've got classes scheduled at different places. I do leadership classes and just learning about an ENP. It gives you a little bit of everything. So
Yeah.
that was exciting for me, and and I don't know if you probably know Lisa Fulton.
Oh God, yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
So she was one of the people that taught me tactical dispatch. She
Nice.
was at Nashville for a long time before she was with NENA. So seeing what she did and where she went and how she moved was big for me. And actually, I know this is not about Steve, but I met Steve through Lisa because I filled in for her at a Tina meeting, I believe it was.
Hmm.
And he came over and introduced himself just to say hi because he knew
Hi, I'm Steve. Yeah.
so, but that was one of the things. So seeing the people that were doing the things that I would wanted to do more of, and seeing what did they have, what do I need to do, and these are the things I need to do. And I love learning, and I'm always excited to learn new things. And it's for me, it's fun. It's the nerd in me. I'm a comic book nerd, and I'm just a nerd overall. I love learning different things, and this is just so interesting, and it changes all the time. So there's always new things to learn. So
Wow.
that excites me. Just
So you've been dispatching for 20 years.
yes.
What are the labor laws down in Tennessee? You start when you're 7?
Oh, you're so sweet.
You like what I did there?
I like what you did
Works
there.
every time. Works every time.
Well, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm 25. We'll just say I'm 25.
Okay. You started when
Add
you
20
were
years to that, but it's okay.
5? I tell you, that's amazing. 20 years in that job, you've seen a lot of change.
Hmm. Yep. We are now, well, you probably know with the bombing, Rapid SOS was huge for us.
Oh, sure.
Um, we were not getting 911 calls, but Rapid SOS got the 911 calls.
Yep.
And then Steve had installed flip phones on our desks. So we were able to use the flip phones to call back since our system was down. And so we were still able to process 911 calls that way.
Yep.
Now we're into Prepare It Live, and we're using that to get video. We had someone who was trapped in some construction, a kid, and went into a house under construction, as he should not have, but he got trapped in some of the construction materials, and he was trying to explain it. So, but he was 13 or so, he didn't know. So the call taker sent him a link for his cell phone.
Yep.
And so we could see the video of what he actually was trapped by, if he was trapped, or if he just needed bigger people to move it off of him.
Yeah.
So, but those are the things we're using. We're using Prepare It Live for. So we've got the video now, and I think we are silver status. We're going for that gold status. So, but we are using it more and more every week, and it's the technology and things have changed. Back, the original CAD we had with the Vesta with Motorola was two tabs. Now we're up to 6 tabs with the P1 CAD. So,
Yeah.
and I love my 6 tabs and toggling in between. So, but but those are the things, and things how things have moved. And of course, the phone system is so much better now. We have text to 911 now, which we use frequently. So,
Do you get a lot of text to 911 calls?
we're getting more of them. We don't get a lot per se, but we're getting more of them. And now when we get 911 hang up calls, we text back.
Okay.
We'll check. And I first used that in Baldwin County, Alabama, when they had their
Yep. Dan Wright's place.
Yes, when they had the hurricanes. My best friend and I went down there as for Turk deployment to assist them, and they had a text back.
Okay.
I don't remember if it was called Texty or something, but
Yeah, I think it was Texty. That
Yeah.
was the Agent 511 program, I think, or something. I
Mhm.
don't remember. But
But
yeah,
it was the first time I'd seen where you text back your caller when they call 911. So, but we have it under just our Intrado system now. And so, but we have our Intrado Viper system, but we have text to 911, and we can text back when they call in and call in and hang up. So, like you said, the technology is moving at a rapid pace, and you've got to keep up.
No, it is. And it's a constant learning thing. And, the problem is 911 has always been so rigid on technology because they don't, they've got people's lives in their hands.
Yes.
But they got so rigid that consumer technology skyrocketed.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden they weren't even in the slow lane. They were off on the shoulder someplace.
Mhm.
And now you got this big
gap
of technology.
And you're trying to hurry up and catch up, because the younger generation, they want to be able to get in and get out and get their information to us quickly. So, we've got to catch up. But, I think we're on the right path to catching up. And we just but what I appreciate is our people that seasoned people like myself.
Yeah. We're seasoned.
But we're keeping up, and we're keeping up with the technology. We have people that I'm definitely not near the longest tenured person at my agency, but all of our people are keeping up. They're learning new things, and they're adapting to the new technologies that we have. And it's good to see, because it makes for more efficient use of 911, and that's kind of what we're going for.
Do you see a big gap in the seasoned dispatcher and the new ones coming in, where the new ones are used to doing this, but the seasoned ones might be a little hesitant?
I think we did at first, because Steve brought in a lot of technology, and we started moving at a rapid pace to catch up. And it was hard at first. I'm not a big fan. As much as I like learning, I'm not a big fan of change either. But it was hard at first, but you can see the need for it, and see how better it works for you. So and I think even those that were kind of hesitant after the bombing, I think that was a big wake up call for some people, that hey, if we hadn't had these other technologies, we wouldn't have been able to process 911 calls, and we had people that needed our help. And what you get remember in a disaster is this one thing happens, but everything else is still going on.
Yeah.
Monday happened, and during Monday happening, there were CPR calls still being processed.
Right.
So, we still had to go, and we still had to you still have to take those other things. So that technology being at the forefront is making a big difference in how we can process 911 calls faster, and that's helping a lot.
How do you think the EMPs helped you in your future career?
Um, it's opened up it's opened up my eyes to what I can do and what I can be. Because like I said, I always want to learn and continue to grow. Um, and I'm it's widening my path of what is available out there. I love I love tactical dispatch. I love emergency management. I love what I do, and seeing all the opportunities and all the pathways in what I do. And I don't think I realized what all those pathways were before EMP. And I think that's been a big thing for me is seeing what those pathways are with EMP, and seeing how those things branch out and how they connect and connect to other things. And that's just that the learner in me, it just makes me smile, and it just opens up so much more for me. And I think that's to me the biggest thing, because you don't realize how much that EMP connects to everything. Because what I've learned when taking that exam and studying for that exam, the things I've learned have put me on a broader path and put me, because I know so much more now. I knew some of the with tactical dispatch, you have to learn some of it as a COMEL. I had to learn a lot of the radio stuff, the radio portions of it.
Mhm.
But learning more about the systems themselves was big for me, and it made things make so much more sense. Um,
Well, like you said, it's connections of technology, and I think it opens that up. It's a little bit about everything, and it allows you to see all the interconnections. And I think that just retrains your brain thinking a little
yeah,
bit
it
to,
does.
to how you look at things, right?
It
So
does.
it's just like answering the phone. Yeah, oh, it's answering the phone. I answer the phone every day.
Hmm.
When you dispatch and are a call taker, you answer the phone very differently. You
Hmm.
listen to every little sound that you
Yes.
can hear, and it totally a gasp, a click, a bump, something in the background totally changes your
Yes.
direction because you've
Exactly.
done it 100 times.
Yes. And it's you get the as a on the call taker side, like you said, just who's that crying? Who's that talking? What is that noise?
Yep.
Dispatch side, I've been on the radio where the mic clicks, and I'm like, okay, who's mic clicking? And I'm looking up the radio number. They're not answering me, and you next thing you know, you've got an officer fighting with somebody. Or on the flip side, you've got an officer who just was playing around with his mic and didn't realize, he's new and didn't realize that he was scaring his dispatcher to death. So, but those things are there, and as a dispatcher, we listen for those, and we are always prepared. It's a tenseness, and you're like, when you start hearing, you take more notice, and you're trying to figure out, okay, what's going on? What do I need? Because I need to plan my next step to see if I need to get some more help or move help faster. What's going on?
I hate to say this, but it's absolutely true. 911 technology has improved to the point where a lot of things have been fixed and a lot of things are a lot easier now. So when somebody keys up the radio, you usually get a unit ID on your screen. Back in the day, all you heard was and the repeater
Mhm.
squelch, and like,
Yep.
who is that? Who
Yep.
did I send where?
Yep.
I dispatched 3 towns. I could tell pretty much by the noise on the signal if they were in my town, the next town over, or
Hmm.
the third town out. And I could tell certainly if they're on a portable, I
Yep.
knew where they were, and
Yes.
I knew about where they were by the sound.
Hmm.
Oh my God.
And we had an area. It's improved now, but in our west area of Nashville, there was a drop in the repeaters over there. So you knew if an officer was going that way, he wasn't going to hear you. It was going to be staticky. You already knew that he's over by this area. So let me
Yep.
just wait till he gets back through. But that all that going together, it's wild. It's absolutely wild. And then back in the day, if we couldn't reach him, we had to do a roll call because we
Oh,
couldn't reach
yeah.
anyone, and we didn't have any way to check on them. So we had to do a roll call to make sure every officer answered us.
Yeah.
And, or we could page their radio, but if they were in a bad area, then they may or may not get it. So
Yeah.
roll call it was.
Even though it was 1980, we had a very, very sophisticated CAD system. It was about, I don't know, maybe 4 feet wide, 4 feet tall. It was on the wall right behind me with lines that said Sector A, B, C, and D,
We
and a
have
nice index of streets.
if you when you come back to Nashville, you'll have to come to our backup site. We still have the old consulates sitting at one of the desks. The old
Oh,
tan. It's sitting up there just
yep.
for nostalgia. So you'll have to come in and check that out.
Got your own little museum started.
A little bit, a little bit.
I'm looking forward to it. I am so glad I met you. I tell you,
Yeah.
this is really great. So, I'm forgetting all about the ENP purpose of this podcast. What did having such a good time? We need to continue this over barbecue.
Absolutely. I have pop attorneys. We need to go.
All right, Steve brought me to some place. I forget what was the name of it, but we had a good lunch there. But what did you do to study for EMP? What was your secret to get through it?
Tracy Eldridge was my secret.
That's
On scene first with Tracy Eldridge was my secret. When I was taking the exam, I could hear her voice in my head on certain questions, and it was so worth it. But it was really good. In my schedule, like I said, I worked midnights up until January of this year, but I my sleep schedule was weird because I was sleeping in the evening, but I also did a lot of overtime, and I also, did a lot of tactical dispatch things. So I didn't always get to see I mostly didn't get to see the podcast live. So I had to watch them on YouTube.
mm-hmm.
But I could stop, write my notes, or stop. She put up a slide. I take a picture of the slide so I could look at it later, and I go back over some of those slides in the pictures. But I could hear her voice in my head, reminding me about some things, and it worked. It absolutely worked.
Tracy is probably one of my best friends. We're like brother and sister, and we fight like brother and sister daily. And I'm a really technical, geeky kind of guy.
Mhm.
And Tracy's the whole way she runs her course is, I'm going to take this and I'm going to dumb this down into very simple, basic examples to where anybody can understand what's going on. And I hate that because I want all the geek. And I'm like,
But
stop treating people like children. She goes, they
but what
are.
you but what that does though is that gets the base started. And if
Yes.
somebody like me who wants to learn more, I have a base to build upon because
So
her
now she
diagram
calls me and
is
she goes,
great.
well, how do I explain this? And now I sit and collaborate with her on how to make a good example that's simple like that. And, we have a little contest who can come up with the best simple example. But, you know, a, a lot of people will develop that kind of course and then just regurgitate it over and over and over and
Yeah,
over again. Do you know that she goes through that whole exam every single time, almost brand new
she
for
sent an
every
email.
session?
She sent an email asking if we wanted to help her go through them,
Yes,
and
I
I
saw that.
was going to help her, and then work snowballed. But it made me realize that she goes through and she goes through there. That's how I realized it because she sent the email asking for assistance for people to help her go through it for the next group.
Yep.
So, but that's awesome, and it keeps it with. I had the 5.1 book, and when they moved to the 6.1, I think it was, or 6.0.
Mhm. Yep.
So
Six.
I was in between that move, but what she did in her podcast was she filled in the gap for me. So
Gotcha.
that made a big difference too. So with the new book and what she let you know that this was stuff that wasn't in the old book, and it was new stuff that from 6.0. So that was a big help as well.
She would go through that page by page because I'm on the NENA Institute board. We administer and manage the questions. And
Mhm.
that's why I'm not allowed to help Tracy because technically I know all the answers, right? So I'm not allowed to kind of like help anything with the creation of study groups. And I can't. I'm coming off the NIB this year, and I can't wait because I so want to help her and do a couple of classes for her, and I'll finally be able to.
It's so worth it, and I appreciated it so much because it was really helpful, especially where I could sit at home after working all day or whatever, and I could sit at home and watch it on YouTube, because a lot of times when it aired out, it was during my sleep time. So,
Yep.
but I could watch it in the morning or whenever I needed to, or I switch shifts and I watch it in the evening. because I did her fall courses,
Mm-hmm.
and so I was watching it over and over again. I started it. Actually, it was the APCO conference, and somebody was talking about it there, signing up for her course, and I actually went to sign up for the next course, and I signed up for the one that had already started, so I had to catch up. And I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to push myself and go ahead and take it this winter. So that's kind of how that
Well,
works.
people don't realize they're free and you can take it as many times as you want. And I know a lot of people will take hers and they'll take the mission critical one and
Mhm.
they'll take the Florida one. They'll take them all. Why not? It's free and they're available to you.
I had signed up
Everyone's
for the
going to have
one
a
in
little
Texas.
different flavor.
I'd signed up for the one in Texas as well because I wasn't sure for whatever reason the ENP. I'm a really good test taker. Again, I like to learn, but I was nervous about ENP, and so I signed up for Texas while waiting for my test date, just in case I needed to go through it again, so I could go through hers again and go through Texas again.
Yeah.
I was preparing myself. I was just super nervous about it.
So after you were done, did you take it online or did you take it at the center?
I took it in person, right around the corner from our backup site.
Okay.
That's where the testing center was.
So when you were done
Mhm.
and laid your pencil down and you walked your test up front, what were you thinking? Did you think you passed?
I was not su I thought I was pleasantly surprised that I knew, especially some of the technical stuff that I really knew it. You know it, and you know it, but you're nervous. So I was like, "Okay, I think I really did good." And by the time I got to my car, I got the, preliminary score back, and I was like, "Yes."
Isn't that the best feeling in the world?
Just a relief. I just could, and it's funny because everybody was like, "You're gonna do fine. You're gonna do fine." And I'm like, "I don't know." So it was nerve wracking, and I'm not usually nervous about testing or anything that because I love learning, but
Yep. No,
EMP
I
was
love tests too.
nervous.
I took my first test, but on my first recertification, I actually went in and took the test again,
Mhm.
in person. And then after that, I was on the NENA Institute board, and we don't take the tests because we write the tests. But
Makes sense.
we actually take the tests twice every year.
Wow.
Because the first thing we do is we sit down, we pick out two, the A test and the B test, 150 questions, and we sit down and we take both tests and look for errors and questions that could be improved. Because as we get the questions, we also see what the past performance was on a question. If we get a question that says, well, 95% got the correct answer, that means the distractor questions aren't hard enough. We try to go for like 80, right?
Yeah,
That's the sweet spot. Any harder, and then it's not really fair. Any easier, and you're not,
pushing
you
it.
can have some easy ones and some hard ones, but we try to balance around 80. And, we make the harder ones, the super hard ones, a little bit clearer, a little easier.
Mhm.
And we make the super easy ones. Oh no, that one's 100%. No, 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 no. That's not testing anything.
Yeah, gonna make you
Yeah,
work for it a little bit.
yeah. Got to make you exactly. You got to. The goal is to teach. And we just went through that for the next series of exams coming through. So
We have several people studying for it now, so I'm looking by the end of the year. I feel like we'll have at least 3 more EMPs, at least 3 more.
that's great. Now, does your agency pay?
The agency doesn't pay, but Tina does.
Oh, Tina does.
Tina pays. They have scholarships for us, and they will pay.
Nice.
Mhm.
I like Tina.
I do. I enjoy their conferences.
Yeah, Tina does a good job.
Mhm.
They're a very they seem to be one of the more proactive state organizations,
Yes, yes. Everyone
right?
is very involved, and they make a point to include you and keep you involved, and they want you to participate. So it makes a big difference.
They had very early they had worked on EZInet deployments throughout the
Mhm.
state and put together a game plan. And I went to a few meetings down there to speak at a few meetings. And I can't remember for the life of me the woman's name that used to run Tina about 10 years ago. But boy, she was a powerhouse, not to be messed with at all. She retired now, and gosh, I can't remember her name, but she scared me. She was a yes, ma'am.
She just wanted it done right. I can't say that I'm probably not too different from her.
Well, that's okay. That's fine. You know what? And that's why I'm all about, I don't have a problem making the ENP test a little bit harder sometimes.
Mhm.
You know, if I mean, I took one of the tests. I think I ran across 4 questions that were 100%ers. I'm like,
Oh, no,
no,
no.
no, 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 no. No, no,
No,
no, no,
you
no.
can't have that. You gotta make you work for it a little bit.
Yeah.
Work for it a little bit.
You know, I mean, that's, just can't be happening. So, I mean, look, it's hard enough to teach this stuff anyway.
Mhm.
And again, it's a certification you're going to carry forever.
And you want to have worked for it. You're more proud of it when you've worked for it.
What does it mean to
So
you? What does it mean to you?
it's it's like it's not the end of my career, but it's like a culmination of hard work over the years. And to me, it feels like I got that golden ticket that I've been pushing for over the years. And that's kind of what it means that I have been on the right path, even when I wasn't sure I was on the right path. But I've been pushing towards what I and who I'm supposed to be. And that means a lot. That I've always been confident in the job that I do and that I know how to do my job. But now I'm confident in the direction that I'm going and that I'm on the right path as I continue my career. And I wasn't always sure about that, but this has made a big difference in knowing that I'm on the right path and knowing the steps that I'm taking, the course that's being directed right now is where I'm supposed to be, and that's exciting, and it's reassuring because again, you don't always know, especially when you're younger. 20 years, I didn't know always where I was going or what I was doing. I knew there were some things I wanted to learn, but what was I going to do with it, or where was I going to go with it, or what did it mean?
Yep.
I just learned the information, and okay, I know the information, but what does it do for me? What does it do for the agency? And so I know those things now, and that makes a big difference. And I'm I'm big on sharing information and sharing knowledge. So I'm making sure that the people around me and the people that are coming up behind me as I'm getting more seasoned um, can have that same knowledge and same direction. So, I want them to be able to have that same feeling. So we're working on getting other people trained and learned up in the things that I know, and I share what I know with them and the courses and different things that I've taken, so they can get that information and that knowledge too. And so, I want them to be sure about where they're going and what they're doing, and that's kind of what the drive is to you want to make sure pull people along and give them that, because me sitting here and having the knowledge and not doing anything with it, not sharing it with anybody, what does that do? It's great, but it's great for me, but what does that do? So the thing is, what are we doing for the agency and for the people? And my people, my teammates, my coworkers, the ones I supervise, I want to see them succeed. I want to see them rock it out. And so we've got to share that information and share that knowledge. And so for me, that's a big thing too. I like to learn, but I like to teach. And one of the reasons it took me so long to decide to apply for supervisor was because I like training and I like to be in that hands on. And so I wasn't sure that I wanted to come off of that. But now I'm doing it in a bigger way. And I realized that while I was training one person at a time, now I have a bigger net that I'm training. And so I'm affect them in a different way, but I'm still training. So
For every podcast I do, I always look for one little soundbite that summarizes the person. And boy, I tell you, you just handed it to me on a platter. That's really amazing, Sabrina. It just thank God that there are people like you in this
thank
industry.
you.
So, do you get business cards?
I do have business cards, yes.
So tomorrow, next time you see Mr. Martini, you tell him that Fletcher demanded that he prints you new business cards with your ENP.
Oh, I've already ordered them. Already ordered them.
Good for you.
I ordered them last week or the week 2 weeks ago. I
Good
ordered
for
them 2
you.
weeks ago. I sure did. I was quite proud of that.
Nice.
I also bought a T-shirt, a polo off NENA yesterday. Sure did.
Nice. All
Yeah.
right, we'll figure something else for Steve then.
Yeah. Oh, we can find something for him to do,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. What do you need? Car, gas,
Yeah, that'll work, see, I did ask to go to Puerto Rico. They needed Turk members to assist. I did ask, could we go to Puerto Rico? We didn't make it to Puerto Rico though.
No.
I need to talk to Steve about that. Why couldn't we?
Who funds that? I mean, where do you go to get the funding for that? Is that something that's built into your agency's budget?
TEMA reimburses because
Okay.
the
Again, Tina.
TEMA,
Oh, TEMA.
Tennessee Emergency Management Agency,
Oh, I
because
didn't
the
even know
request
that was a
comes
thing.
into them, and the request comes into them for assistance, and so then we will go and we will our agency reimburses us if they'll depending on like if they're housing us or
Yeah.
the agency that we're going to houses us, however that is. We've been put in houses that were up for sale. We've been put in bunk houses that we were put in the office of their old center and with what are those, the fold out beds.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever, because we're going there to help them, so it doesn't really matter how we're sleeping or whatever. The main thing is to help them, so we'll be fine, whatever. They've gone through so much worse than what we were us trying to sleep somewhere. But then whatever we spend, like food or anything like that, then our agency reimburses us, and then TEMA reimburses them. So
nice. Wow, that's fantastic. I didn't even know TEMA was a thing. See, I
yeah,
learned
Tennessee
something.
Emergency Management Agency.
Go figure.
They teach our COMEL class, and so they certify us as COMELs.
Okay.
So that's how I got into learning more about the technical side of things, was through COMEL class.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I am going to see you in Dallas, or in Grapevine.
Yes.
And Hank Hunt is going to be there as well. He's driving down from Marshall area, and so I'll introduce you to him too.
Awesome.
He's an inspirational guy with Carrie's Law and and all that, and
Yes.
such a sad story.
Mm-hmm.
And but he's coming down, and I've got a little thing that I'm doing there. I'm going to go to your class as well.
Yes.
And you and I can hang out at the closing night party.
Yeah, or we'll have to find us some barbecue since we'll be in Texas.
Yeah, I'm sure we can. I think they might have some.
I hope so. I'm hoping that when we have APCO for us in August, and I'm hoping we have a little hot chicken for you.
Oh yeah, because I'm coming to Nashville in August. Yeah. I have to.
Yes, I'll take you to my barbecue spot, Papa Turney's. Okay,
that's fine. That's fine. My daughter loves going to conferences now. She is just, I'm so glad that for a while she was sniffing around as a public safety telecommunicator. And I'm glad that she's where she is, because she's probably doing better money wise, and I'm not sure I want to expose her to all of this crap that happens.
My daughter grew up with me in it, so I raised my daughter as a single parent doing this job. So she has grown. She helped me study when I first started. I had my flashcards, and she would quiz me trying to learn 10 codes. So she knew 10 codes as well. Wow. And so, she still knows the 10 codes. So even though we're moving, to plain text, but she learned the 10 codes with me. So I get it. It's you don't want it's a great profession, and it will provide for your family, provide for mine. But it can be hard, and it can be emotional to deal with.
Oh, and yeah.
You always want to take care of your babies and, make them. Now she works for airlines, so I can fly for free. So I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it at all. So, thanks for that, babe.
Good deal, man. That's great. Now I still remember all the 10 codes. I remember all the frequencies, all the call signs. I remember all the phone numbers, everything.
Yep.
I mean, it's amazing how that gets ingrained in your head. It's
it does.
I forgot what I had for breakfast yesterday.
Yes.
But I still remember that, 155.64 was the repeater TAC 1. Who cares?
And but even calls stick with you like that. I still remember calls and different things like that stick with you, good and bad.
Yeah.
And but you never forget those things. And, that these things stick with you. But makes you a better dispatcher, a better call taker going through those things.
You know what I'll say? Doing a stint at that makes you a better person.
Yes. If you don't come
Really
out,
a more compassionate person.
Yes.
I can't tell you how many dead guys I looked at, and the family is right there, and you're like, and he's like, "Is it going to be okay?" No. I mean, it changes you.
Yeah, it does. It absolutely does.
Yeah.
As a parent, even I love downtown Nashville, but I was like, sweetie, you're not taking my car to downtown Nashville. Because I don't want my car broken into, but that's everywhere. But
Yeah.
it makes you a lot more cautious as a parent and things like that. But I love what I do, and I'm so glad. I was looking for a job to help people. I went to a job fair, and this is what I came out with. And I was like, oh, I was a 4-year and out type person.
Yeah.
In 4 years, the economy kind of tanked. This was so many years ago, and but coming out of it, I realized that I was right where I needed to be and right where I was supposed to be. So
When did you know that? When did you know? Did you have a moment that said, "This is my job"?
I don't know that it was a specific call or anything, but it's just kind of you look around and you realize this is me. This is me. This is where my heart is. This is me. This is what I care about. And it wasn't anything I studied in college or anything like that. It wasn't planned, but you know, it it opened up to where I needed to be, and been a blessing. It's I've just grown as a person. I I was I'm a hardline person, and the empathy and compassion that I've learned from this job has been amazing, and I've been able to teach in other people. And I don't know that I would have been able to do that if I'd have been in something else. But
Yeah.
I'm thankful for that, and I'm thankful for the time. And I saw somebody I trained. They came back to visit the other dispatcher at another agency now, and they came back to visit. They brought their daughter up there that I hadn't seen yet. So I gave her a hug, and she just came up to say hi. And but those are the things you build and you see. There was somebody who I trained, and he was in, I think, Arizona, and he was a supervisor. I wasn't a supervisor yet. I wasn't interested in being yet, but he had moved on to be a supervisor. And he was on this journey, and I was so proud to know that I helped a little bit with that. So, yeah,
That's what makes it so special.
it does. It
So
really does.
I cannot wait to go hang out with you down at NENA.
Yes, absolutely.
We're gonna have a good time.
We
Steve
are
Steve might not get back one of his supervisors. We may go missing.
I'm all for a road trip and finding out,
Just whatever.
just just seeing what we can see.
That's it. I'm all about that. Let's go out and stir it and see what happens.
Stir up a little trouble.
That's it. Have a little fun doing it. Well, listen, Sebrina, congratulations again on being an EMP. I love doing this because I love to capture that excitement of brand new EMPs and capture their story. And I think it's really inspirational for people who are on the line and going, well, it's a lot of work, and what am I going to get out of it? And this is what you get out of it.
It's so worth it. So worth it. I'm so proud of myself. I'm absolutely proud of myself for pushing through for that. I'm really proud of myself. And I'm just excited about what the future holds. And to know that there is a future, there is steps and levels still to go. So I'm excited about all of that. And I'm proud of myself.
I'm proud of you too, and I just met you.
Thank you.
I wish you're another reason I may move to Nashville, because I'm gonna be
Come
safe.
on.
And I feel a lot better
Come
than my daughter's down there now too, because I
Come
know
on, we're gonna protect them. We're gonna watch out for them.
that I got a list of public safety people down in Metro Nashville area that you would not believe. I know most of the directors around in the surrounding counties, and Jameson PV House is right around the corner over there.
Yes. Yep.
I know a ton of people down there. It's just, and
Yep.
she knows Steve Martini.
It was funny because last year at APCO, to celebrate that APCO was going to be in Nashville next year, we had a table for Nashville and we had martini glasses. So it was cute. It was really cute. They were empty. They were empty.
Yeah.
They did not have alcohol in them. Let me clarify.
But I remember that. I remember seeing those. So, all right, dear. Listen, thanks again very much. Congratulations. Best wishes for a long career, and can't wait to catch up with you.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to see you and NENA.
All right.
All right.
Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Well, that wraps up this episode of Off the Cuff, Confessions of an ENP. I'm Mark Fletcher, ENP, and I'm the Vice President of Public Safety Solutions at 911 Inform. Off the Cuff is sponsored by 911 Inform, delivering next-generation 911 solutions to the enterprise today and making every second count. Visit them on the web at 911inform.com. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter at Fletch911. Check out all my blogs and podcasts at Fletch.tv. And be sure to like and subscribe below. That way you'll be immediately notified whenever a new podcast is published. Thanks so much for listening. If you're in public safety, thanks for what you do. Take care and have a great day.